Hello, good evening, welcome to Rose and Joan. So this evening I am going to be sniffing through some samples that Claire from the channel Smurfygurly sent me. I don't normally do this actually. I think it's because I got a lot of samples. I get samples from friends all the time, which is lovely. But I never do a sniff on screen because, to be honest, I've realised that I'm rubbish at picking out notes. I'm really rubbish at really knowing what the hell I'm smelling on a first sniff. I mean, I could come out with some really strange stuff, and then when I look on Fragrantica, I'll look for the notes. It's something completely opposite to what I'm smelling. So it doesn't really help anybody who's watching and wants to find out more about the fragrance. But I just figured this time I'm going to do it. Claire always tends to do a live when I send her samples, which is really lovely. And it's always so fun seeing what she thinks of each fragrance. And she also sent Jon Snow a similar set of fragrances I've got here. And he did an impromptu live on Instagram, and that was really fun. I mean, it should be fun. You know, the beauty of fragrance is that we all smell something different. We all just have a different experience. And we all have a different feeling towards each fragrance. So there's no real wrong answers. I mean, there are, but not in terms of what you feel and what you're sniffing. So thank you so much to Claire for sending me all these samples. There is one particular one here that I'm most excited about. These aren't all first sniffs. I have tried a few. I'm not familiar with any of them particularly. I'm going to do my absolute best to tell you what I'm getting, what I'm smelling, and all that good stuff. So a huge thank you to Claire for sending me all these great samples, especially the one particular one that I'm really excited about. I think we should just make a start actually. Now I have already sprayed one this evening on my hand. It's the first time I've ever sprayed it. So let's just start with that. And that's actually Lost Wanderer. Do you know, I don't know what the name of the fragrance is and what the name of the brand is here. I'm embarrassingly underprepared for this. Posium? Is that correct? Okay, but let's just talk about the fragrance. So I sniff this. I'm trying to get an idea for it. What I am getting off of the first sniff this evening, I definitely was picking up on clove. And when I get a note that I'm pretty sure is right, I get really excited because I think finally my nose is working. I'm sure there's clove in here. I really can detect clove. And I get a bit of a ginger. What this is overall is a really smooth, a white woods with a bit of spice. There's something really fluid and okay, I want to colour it kind of like a beige and grey for some reason, but with clove. And I don't know why that ginger. I don't know, maybe I'm not getting ginger, I'm not sure. There's something bright and spicy in here. Overall, it feels very soft and fluid, like a really mild, woody sort of smell. And what came to mind was Oud Wood from Tom Ford. But there's another quality that's slightly sort of sweet, like a wood sap sort of smell, which is giving me a sort of both sweetness and a not sweetness. See what I mean? This is why I don't do this. I would say this was a mild white woods with a hint of clove. I tell you what this smell is. This is what I would love to have as a candle. I want my whole house to smell like this. It is really beautiful. Maybe there's vanilla. Is there vanilla? There's something really creamy underneath it all, which is giving it a lovely neutral base. And I think it would be a beautiful candle smell. I'm not sure if it's a fragrance for me, but if my house smelled like this, it'd be beautiful because nothing is too punchy in here. It's like I say, it's very mild, it's very neutral, fluidy, but with a nice little bit of clove and something else tucked in there like a wood sap. So yeah, that's kind of my first little sort of blind sniff, as it were. A little bit of a Tom Ford Oud Wood thing going on with a bit of clove. Really nice though, really like that. So that's Lost Wanderer. Posium, sorry. Right, so next up we've got Cherry Who, and I believe this is by 4160 Tuesdays. The perfumer is Sarah McCartney, very quirky, colourful, tons of personality, which does channel through into her fragrances. So I actually did spray Cherry Who last night. I'm going to spray again now. I did get a little idea about Cherry Who, and I'm going to go for it again actually because I was wearing other things, so I don't know if I got a true representation of what it really is. Honestly, I wouldn't pick out cherry. I don't recognise it as being a cherry fragrance straight away. I get chalky fruits, that I'd call tutti frutti at this point. Nothing specific, and it's quite sweet. Like it would be a bag of sweets, like a bag of pick and mix tutti frutti hard candies. I'm getting pear. Am I getting pear? I'm not getting cherry, if I'm honest. It's quite sharp. There's quite a, you know how some sweets are coated with that acid, what's it called? It makes them sort of sour, that kind of acid that they put on it. I'm getting a hint of that. I'm really not getting cherry at all. But there's also a sort of chalky sensation. And I don't know if you remember when you were young, you would have played with paints. They always had these kid-proof paints, like a chalky. You mix them with water, and they're like a kind of like an emulsion, like a chalky. Do you know what I mean? Like a chalky paint. It smells like that, almost latexy. It's like an undercurrent of like a kid-friendly chalky paint. Also like a tutti frutti boiled sweet thing going on. It's not too bold, and it's pleasant. It's not too challenging. It's quite fun, sweet. I'm not getting cherry at all though. It's pleasant. It's all right. Yeah, it's quite a nice one. That's Cherry Who, 4160 Tuesdays. So next up we have another Piccadilly, 41, I'm really tired, 4160 Tuesday. So I've never heard of Goodbye Piccadilly. Is this a new one? Or is this one of the older ones? I have no idea if this is a new release or whether it seems like I feel like I've heard of this one. I could be wrong. Let's give this a smell. I've never tried this one. She's going on. Cold. Right, oh God, that's strong. Hang on. Oh. Is that patchouli? Oh, hang on, that's a woody. It smells like cardboard. It smells like dusty cardboard with a hint of patchouli and a bit of woods. I mean, cardboard would smell woody, wouldn't it? I'm not getting any sweetness from it. Oh, it smells like it smells like packaging, like cardboard. The thin packaging, that paper packaging you get when you wrap things in it, and it's gotten damp with something. That's a weird one. I'm not sure what to pick out from that. I'm not sure how to make that sound better than what I already have. Sorry. A bit of sweetness coming through. If I get time, I probably should list the notes afterwards in the editing so that I can just see how ghastly I was and this is why I don't do this kind of thing. Because I don't pick anything out of this other than wet cardboard. It's really light. It's not unpleasant. It's just not a pretty perfume. It's not like a perfume, you know? I don't know what I'm meant to be sniffing on that one. So I'm having a little drink of Kraken rum, black spice Kraken with Coke. Now, can that dumb your senses? Maybe I'm getting a hint of vanilla now. There's a softer bed of something under it, like a bit of vanilla. But sorry, that one isn't seem to be working on my skin. Something's not happening for me on that one. So let's move on. So next up we have Jasmine Bonheur. Now then, this one had a little leakage on arrival and the entire envelope smell of jasmine. I've been looking at this all week and it's only just occurred to me this is the new girl on. I'm not a massive jasmine fan, and because the envelope's been stinking of jasmine, I've kind of just thought, I've written it off as just like, oh God, this is going to be a typical indolic jasmine based on how it smells in the envelope. So I haven't been too excited. I'm going to get this on skin and give it a proper, because I've not actually sprayed it. I've just been smelling it, you know, mixing with cardboard. Oh my God, it's totally different on skin. See, this is why you shouldn't just judge based on a stupid bit of leakage on a bit of cardboard. Sorry about all the waffling. I feel a bit very tired today. Well, that's more interesting, isn't it? Oh, that's very... Well, there's much more going on here than jasmine. This is very bright with florals. This is almost, this is soapy. It's getting in my head a bit. It's giving me a bit of a headache. It's quite a strong, soapy floral. I'm getting some green touches as well. It's not unpleasant at all. It's not got that, what I thought would be indolic, and that muskiness you can get from some jasmine fragrance, almost mustiness. That is what I thought it was going to be, and it's not at all. It's so much brighter. There's shades of other colours, other flowers coming through. Pretty flowery soap, bit green. It's quite fluid though. I'm not picking out any of that Girlinade vanilla. I don't think it has that connection to the others. It's very pretty. It's a little underwhelming. I think it could be, you know, mistaken for other fragrances. There's nothing groundbreaking here. I mean, considering the price of these fragrances. This is a lovely one for like a spring summer day, and if it was warmer and it was spring and summer, I think you'd be getting far more of its personality. It'd be wafting around more. Bearing in mind, I've just sprayed Cherry Who, I've sprayed Lost Wanderer. Don't think it's getting a fair trial, but it's kind of gone flat now and I can't smell anything at all. But it's underwhelming for now. Moving on to a Serge Lutens called Fil de Joie. This is also a jasmine fragrance, but how I've heard it described by more than one person. Claire's talks about this. I believe this is the ones that Chantal Tiffany loves as well. And I love how they describe it. They're very passionate about this one. I've recently found my first Serge love in Fil de Berlin, which is the beautiful rose one. That one has the same beautiful deep red liquid, just like this one. So that is why I was very curious to see how it would resemble the fragrance, how they would match. So let's get that one on skin, because I haven't actually sprayed this one yet. Oh no, hang on a minute. Do you know, I have sprayed this one already the other night, and again it was a night when I'd already sprayed other things. Let me just show you how dark this is. That's why you don't put it on white cloves. Can you see that? Much like how I picked up on this the other night when I sprayed it, I'm getting a very familiar background that I got in my La Fil de Berlin. It has the same DNA actually, like that. I know there was no berries, blackberries or any berries at all in that one, but forgetting the notes, I swear I get like this kind of black currant, like a bitter, full-bodied black currant, but not sweet, but almost like a wine. So it's very like a fluid. It's more like a liquid, and has a glassy, slightly metallic, cold surface. That is in this. That is definitely in this, because I pick up on it completely. I really recognise it from the other one. Only with this one, of course, you haven't got the rose, you get the jasmine. And the jasmine in here, for me, is really musty. It's probably indolic. I think it's being tempered by this rich, full-bodied, deep red berry. I know there's no berries. Well, there might be in this one, I don't know. The background DNA is tempering what would be, I think, quite an indolic jasmine. And the combination of that musty indolic jasmine and this deep, dark background, maybe honey. I think there's honey in the Berlin. In its entirety, it's like a dark jasmine. It's a very smooth, elegant, very tasteful, dark jasmine. It's all right. I don't think I'd wear this. This is still not for me. I don't think that jasmine forward element is just not something that I enjoy. I don't like the mustiness of jasmine. I think I need it to be a lot sweeter if I was going to enjoy this. So yeah, I'm glad I've tried that one, but not for me, unfortunately. I'm going to move to Sacred Scarab. I really am fond of this company. I love their concept. I love everything about, you know, the animals and their background. I think it's such a cool concept. But I have not followed this one because I already assumed that it wouldn't be something I would enjoy. It's got a dung beetle. It's Egyptian. It's going to have obviously quite an authentic style of oud in there. Probably very focused on that as well. I have sprayed it on the card. I haven't got this on my skin yet. I probably should, shouldn't I? Let me just spray it off the card. Okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm a bit scared. And I'm going to show you the notes because they're all listed here actually. Aldehydes, lemon, civet. So we've got the civet, we've got some animalics there. We have blue lotus, wine accord, plum, cedar. It's going to be quite resinous, quite dark. Is there no oud in this? Hang on. There's no oud in here. It's actually full of just really dark resinous notes. Sacred Scarab captures the mystique of Kaifi incense. What is that? There's no incense even in the notes. I'm so confused. It's obviously going to be an earthy fragrance. Let's at least assume that. And we've got resins and we have some richness. We have that Egyptian richness, and it's obviously spiritual. Oh, okay. Well, that is dark and earthy. I mean, one would assume there could be oud in this because it's a bit dungy, but there's real brightness in there. There's like a fizzy, sherbety brightness with loads of dirt and resins underneath. Really interesting. It reminds me of the sort of thing that perhaps you'd find from Thornton Manley, because they have a real dark, resinous, rich, sort of dirty style of fragrance. And I'm sure there's one that smells like this. If we look at the notes again, there is something really pleasant in this. It might be about lotus, actually. The skin's going to push different notes out depending on your chemistry. I mean, this is a real complex, dirty as it is bright. There's just too much going on to just, you know, to just summarise it in a few thoughts. Which is why a first impression doesn't really count for an awful lot. It's still a little bit too earthy and perhaps a bit poopy for my liking, but there's a lot of things tucked in, you know, there's a lot of hidden depth. I think it suits, I mean, I'm not going to read out this entire inscription, you can find it on the zoologist website, but when you read the description of the spiritualness, all the things that this beetle rolls and then picks up different scents, and I get all that. It's very clever. It's nothing like as dirty as I thought it was going to be. I feel like I could smell everything with nothing particularly standing out, which is great. It's really cool. I wouldn't wear it, but I think it's interesting. There's beauty in here. That saying, diamond in the rough, that's what I think of with this fragrance. There's a lot of rough and a lot of diamond all hidden in. Am I making any sense? I think you just got to get this one on the skin and try it for yourself. All those notes all rolled together by this sacred scarab. It smells mysterious and dark and definitely spiritual and ancient, but there's brightness and beauty in there as well. So let's just leave that as it is. Sacred scarab from the House of Zoologist. So saving the best for last, we have Harvest Mouse, the latest launch from the House of Zoologist. I believe this is officially launching, I think it's mid-February, so it's not actually available to buy it, but you can buy it samples. I saw this being talked about on Instagram. I looked at the notes, thought it was really interesting. And when I saw Claire do her unboxing, go and check out her unboxing of Harvest Mouse. It was so enjoyable, seeing her reaction to the fragrance, watching how she reacted to the scent as it unfolded and changed. It was fantastic. I think we have honey, vanilla. The thing that intrigued me the most was is it the CO2 of beer? You're getting that authentic, yeasty, hoppy air of beer, as well as some other gorgeous notes which really do put you in mind of this sort of harvested field where you've got wheats and things growing, and you've got this adorable little harvest mouse. When I first smelled Harvest Mouse, it was a lot more musty and a lot more quiet than I thought it was going to be, but it started to really evolve. And one thing I noticed that came out quite strongly on me was this sort of anise, fennel, like, not talking licorice or anything. It was a hint of something like that, which threw me off completely because I wasn't expecting it. Let me just spray again. Yeah, see, there's that almost slightly medicinal, a really creamy, woody. I don't want to talk, I just want to sleep. It's like, I don't want to share the experience, this is mine. If I had to give it a colour, it would definitely be neutral. Neutral with golden and sort of creamy beige touches. Yeah, so it goes through this phase of reminding me of a Solvane Delacourt fragrance in her vanilla range. Her vanillas are really unusual, and one of them was very musky. Not as far as going mothball-y, but there is a muskiness to it. And it goes through a slight phase of that. And I started to get this yeasty smell. I guess would make sense if there's like a beer related scent in here. It's not strong at all. This is really interesting, addictive in the most mild mannered way. It's not punchy, it's not like popping different notes all the time. It moves so gently and so slowly, and it's subtly interesting and mild and addictive in the most, cool, calm, collected way. You know Golden Grahams, that cereal? Imagine having that with warm milk just warm milk. There's a sensation of that, Golden Grahams in warm milk. Any Potterheads out there, you know what I mean when I say this is an unsweetened butterbeer. It's an unsweetened butterbeer. if you've got butterbeer being made and you blew the foam into the air, this is how I reckon it would smell. Just not with any kind of sugary syrups or anything, more of that, you know, that CO2 of beer, like someone's, you know, when you're in a pub and you can smell the atomized beer in the air. A bit like that, but much more creamy and approachable. This is indoors, this is cozy, creamy. This is definitely the safest scent from Zoologist so far, I would say. This is very easy to wear, and it's just so adorable, and it's so adorable paired with the image of that harvest mouse on the bottle. The whole thing is lovely. Do I want to add this to my collection? 100%. Can't wait. It's just beautiful. It's unusual without being too unfamiliar. So there you have it. That's my feeble attempt at trying to do a sampling sniffing session. Thank you so much to Claire. Thank you so much indeed for all these lovely samples. I really appreciate you sending them. So I'm going to go and finish my Kraken and Coke because I think I need it after that. If there's any fragrances here you're interested in, or if I made sense of anything, then that's something, I suppose. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you on the next one. Over and out. Take care.